This video is to assist applicants in understanding the requirements for a diversity plan when submitting a cannabis consumption lounge application. The goal of the diversity plan is to promote the meaningful inclusion of diverse groups in the ownership of cannabis consumption lounges. In this video, we will cover and answer the following questions. How is diversity defined? Who is required to submit a diversity plan? When and how does an applicant submit a diversity plan? And what should be included in a diversity plan? In addition to this video, we also have a worksheet that may guide you in creating your diversity plan. A link to this resource can be found on the CCB's Consumption Lounge page. First, it's important to note that a diversity plan is required by all applicants, regardless of lounge license type. Applicants for both retail and independent consumption lounges must upload and submit this plan with their application. In order to meet the minimum scoring guidelines, the applicant must affirm that they have and will implement a diversity plan. This attestation will be accomplished by checking a box which will be part of the attestations included in the initial application. And the applicant must upload their diversity plan in Acela as part of a complete application. How is diversity defined? Per NRS 678B.324 subsection 4A1, diversity refers to race, ethnicity, or gender, and the inclusion of other persons of backgrounds which are disproportionately underrepresented. However, the CCB is also encouraging the inclusion of other underrepresented groups, including veterans, persons with disabilities, and LGBTQ+. Broadly speaking, this plan should include objectives, timetables, actionable steps, and evaluation metrics. As specified in the regulations, the diversity plan should include the following: demographic information of each owner, officer, board member, employees, and independent contractor. Strategies for obtaining a diverse group of owners, officers, board members, and employees. This includes executive positions, management, and contractors. Diversity goals for employee hiring and retention. A plan for diversity-related outreach or events that the applicant will conduct to support its diversity goals. Any materials reflecting the applicant's mentoring, training, or professional development programs for diverse groups. Proposed timelines and benchmarks for achieving the goals outlined in this plan, or alternatively, a narrative describing the applicant's ability to record and report on the components of the plan. In your diversity plan, you should include the demographic information of each owner, officer, board member, employee, and independent contractor who have chosen to respond to your inquiry. We recognize that at the time of the application, these positions may not all have been filled, so provide this information based on your current staffing or proposed staffing. You'll want to include the following information but should make any response optional: gender identity, racial or ethnic identity, any other represented group, including but not limited to LGBTQ+, disability status, and/or veteran status. In addition to making responses optional, you may also offer a prefer not to answer option for all your demographic questions when collecting this information. Next, you'll want to include your strategies for recruitment of a diverse workforce. This can include plans for hiring and retention or outreach events. To answer this portion of the diversity plan, you can ask yourself the following questions. What type of outreach do you plan to do to recruit a larger and more diverse pool of applicants? This could include social media, community outreach, job fairs, participation in local events, etc. What resources, training, or professional development programs are you willing to offer? How will you demonstrate your commitment to diversity to current and potential employees? There is room for growth and diversity in Nevada's cannabis industry, so potential applicants should indicate how they envision contributing to that growth in the next portion of their diversity plan. You should outline your short and long-term goals for recruitment and retention of a diverse staff, and how you envision reaching those goals. For example, you can state that prior to opening, you'd like to host a recruitment event in a disproportionately impacted area. Additionally, applicants are encouraged to submit any other information that demonstrates their commitment to diversity. Also worth noting here, the board may also require additional information or documentation. Those requests will be communicated with the applicant if necessary. Once plans are received, the board will determine whether the stated goals outlined in each diversity plan are reasonable and represent a good faith effort. The board will review the diversity plan as part of the suitability determination for licensure. We also want to mention here that once an applicant's conditional license has been issued, the diversity plan which they submit will not be confidential. This is in our regulations and based on feedback we received during our workshops. We agree with stakeholders that the transparency of these plans will hopefully promote greater accountability in the applicant's commitments to their diversity plans. However, we want to point out that names and any other personally identifying information that may be included in a diversity plan will remain confidential pursuant to NCCR 6.035. If you have questions, please visit the resources and links on our website. There you can find answers to frequently asked questions and additional resources to assist with the application process. If you don't see your question answered, you can email us at ccbconsumptionlounge@ccb.nv.gov.